Hello, hello.
Hey Marek, how's it going, man?
Good, good. Yeah, let's wait. Maybe I can contact. Uh, I think somehow you're leaking out. Could you mute yourself? Thank you. Um, yeah, I'm looking if Marcus is.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, great. Okay, I think we have quorum to start the meeting. Okay, so hello and welcome to robustness testing meeting. Today is December 3rd, and after some longer break, we are back to debug some etcd issues. Um, so I see there are a couple of topics. I think we can just jump into them. Um, None. Do you want to talk about?
Yeah, yeah, I just got back. Hi everyone. Uh, the so I think we are good with the current um, Docker um, Docker Compose solution for antithesis, and I know that at some point we want to move to Kubernetes base, right? And one of the things that kind of being an obstacle for such migration is the um, the etcd operator is not so ready yet. Uh, I think that's one of the things that either we wait or we can help out with like that project, which I start looking at it too. So I was wondering if like we can uh, break down what we need and see um, you know what is missing from SAD operator, um, so that I can have a look and maybe contribute in that area too. Secondly, I know that we set up some um, some server side Kubernetes for antithesis. I still have the work to like putting in the client part, but anything else that you think that we should do? Like we can briefly discuss this. I only have like 15 to 20 minutes. There's so many after I come back from vacation. But yeah, want to get some idea on like what's the next step that makes sense.
Um, sure. Uh, I I don't want to immediately like jump into operator and start depending on it and like start pushing features until we are pretty sure that Kubernetes is at all like useful for us. Because they're like we shouldn't yeah, we shouldn't go look so much forward if we haven't like built something even simple that works, and we haven't verified like the first step. We shouldn't like go already plan like 10 floors before we build one, the foundation. And for Kubernetes currently situation, we have nothing like, I know we have a draft, but we haven't like even had a one run of. So I would focus on making etcd run on Kubernetes in Antithesis at all, and then based on that, use that experience to define what features are missing, because we don't want to try to guess. We can, I mean, if you were planning timeline for delivery of the feature, we could try to plan it and think, but we don't have any like deadlines. We don't have any plans. We can just do one thing at a time, and I don't. We can just like focus on what is the next thing, and just make Antithesis run on a Kubernetes.
Yeah. So are you suggesting that we should focus on making, I mean, whatever works for Docker Compose? I mean, for now, we should replicate that to Kubernetes. That's probably the
Yes.
next step.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Yeah, I can focus on that. And then after that, we can come back and discuss again what is missing.
Sounds good. Anything else?
I think that would be all. Yeah.
Okay. So I going to the next topic. I have tried to prepare some demo of debugging of linearization issue. I can say I tried because I can show you where I'm stuck and what doesn't work. I don't think we can go much further from that, but please let me know if you have any suggestions. It's a lot of things are here still new to me, so I'm open to any like feedback. What could we could be doing differently? So starting from the issue. So we have an ongoing linearization issue that was reported by Antithesis and still hasn't been like root caused. So we haven't like rejected it or accepted it because we I think it's pretty gnarly linearization issue. I haven't like still figured it out. Um, or on the other side, I try to challenge myself to not use my traditional way to debug some things, which is add printf statements everywhere and hope it will work. So I tried to challenge myself to use the antithesis debugger and wanted to show how that went. If you have any questions or want to interrupt, let me know. The path here is pretty long. So yeah, for a long time we had this issue, like since end of July. It shows as a case of one etcd going back in time, or in some cases just not progressing at all. So at least assume this is a pretty base statement. So assuming the time is correct, and based on the fact that there is a previous request from here, I don't know if it's visible well, but based like this is a problematic request because it returned as revision 3. But based on the fact that there is a request before, like done by single client, so one client made the put and got one revision 134, and then another put and got revision like 3. That's hard to dispute if this is like validity of this complaint. It's just like very hard to figure out what happened, because like I think Benjamin looked at the issue and I don't think he happened, like he did some investigation further, but we haven't gotten much. We have looked at like correlation and other things, but it's hard to guess how to do. So the issue happens like every second or every third day. We have another report. So if you can like just open an e-report and see it. So access, anyone should be able to open a report based on GitHub, but there are some features like you cannot look at all the reports, historical reports, until if you're not a etcd contributor, but you can click on the issue itself and that will give you a link. So here is the failure, and like you can see, and you can see that this is like, this has been pretty consistently failing, or no, this has been pretty consistent failing, like even recently. Or this is not recent because the timeline is not updated. I will not go into UI issues. Yeah, so I have investigated this during KubeCon, trying with some help. And for today, I created a separate debug session on the antithesis side. So maybe let me switch to that, because yeah, I had some other issues, so I have a separate Chrome opened. Can you see it? Okay, I needed to maximize the window, so let me know if everything, some things work. Is it okay? Just, yeah. Okay. So I don't have maximize, like I just minimize or maximize the window so I don't see visuals. So, okay. So this is the issue. And if I clean, let me maybe start from something simpler. And of course, this is yeah, okay. Let's see if that works. So here is how it looks from execution point of view. So I have a debug session that has like playbook to edit, to write code to see what happens. And the biggest challenge is that you try to control, you have two separate controls of both of your local execution, that is of code that is written in JavaScript, and the timeline of the simulation. So by default, the timeline of the simulation is based on the time that I selected when creating the session. So currently it's the moment that we had linearization error reported, which is after for the simulation, like all the simulation happening when we try to validate. But it also allows us to collect all the events and then read the report that was generated. So the report that is generated by the robustness test is just a file. So I can inject a command to generate the file and I can open it. Can you see the file? Let me double check. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is how it looks like from, like I can just like read the file from this thing, but now I can start like modifying what is happening. And the first thing I try to modify is try to rewind time to around, or I try to randomly rewind time to like a little bit back, because like if you look at from linearization point of view, this is like the end of linearization, end of time, and we generate the report after that time. So we are like much further into the future. So let's rewind some time, and we can do that like this. And now, now I'm lost.
So I think that download's not going to work because when you rewind time 55 seconds back, that file doesn't exist yet.
But okay, I know what I'm missing. It's too complicated.
That's right.
Things. Okay, so I needed now I rewinded the time and I can do some operations. Let's see. Let me, I know. There's so many things that are wrong. So I can rewind some time and I can execute some commands. So let me copy this. I can let's start with something simple. So I can go back in time and execute ls, but to get results from ls I need to print. So I can see the directory at the time. So let me find where is the etcd binary. Let me remember, is it in etcd directory? Yeah, and I can go now etcd customer. Again, it's, so I have etcd ctl at tcd ctl. Okay. Oh, this is not binary. This is a file.
I think you have an ls.
Hmm?
You have an ls, right? Bash ls.
Yeah, but fact that there is a result,
or maybe it's the bin.
This is directory, not, I was looking for binary.
Maybe it's
bin.
the bin folder.
Yeah. Okay, and we found it. So you can just execute as you would. Okay, so we have binary. So I can execute. So during the time, I'm able to execute the command, and I'm able to, I don't know, let's be gnarly, let's break linearization on purpose, and let's execute a command here. Let's ignore this, advance some time. And
could you print out that environment.events.up2 branch, that line 29?
I need to. So I can, but it doesn't give any like useful information. Like most of the things here doesn't give any useful information.
Gotcha.
So I can replay and now like see. Yeah, this is a other problem, that there is some failures, but yeah, I could technically be disruptful. Let's say this is the problem is I don't have a way. Maybe you can notice the problem that I'm running into is I have no way to correlate the timeline of linearization and the timeline of whatever antithesis is doing. So it's mostly like guessing. But what I'm trying to do is inject a fake, how would you call it? Additional transaction to break linearization. But I don't think this will happen. But I can basically maybe let's do, instead of putting, we can like get a key that was broken. So here is the linearization, and here is let's say get a list key. So that will be list get key prefix.
I'm nervous you might be rewinding time a little bit too much. We can rewind it to just when
Okay,
the
I
singleton
reminded.
driver start.
I
Okay.
I rewinded it correctly. I needed to change the time. So
Okay.
yeah, that's the problem. Is I don't have a timeline. I'm guessing. Like everything is a guess. So yeah, I can get a key. So there was a key 0. Let me write maybe a little bit clearer. Would be how do I do it? Like this to get JSON. Yeah. Do I have JQ? Anyone can help? Yes, we have readable things. Yeah, but the keys are encoded in base 64, which is not great. But we can see that this etcd had revision 4. So we're able, around this time, I think we just read the result of this operation. Yeah, so great, we can rewind time. But now, like, to guess which etcd had the issue. Oh, so we can find that at the same time there was an etcd that was on revision 4, and there is etcd that is on revision 1. So that's an interesting thing that I didn't consider. So, but it's hard to now like position how this 55 seconds, how it relates here. I think I was trying to target the 55 seconds around this. So maybe this is this list. So this is like around this list. So we can now guess based on that the problematic etcd is etcd1. But that would be pretty bad debugging if we cannot like see what is happening. So an alternative to the doing like external commands to etcd is try to read the state of memory. And to do that, we can try to uncomment this. So this is a this is a command that executes delve, which is a Golang debugger, to and it connects automatically to etcd1, and is already prepared to trace 2 states of memory of the revision and the confirmed index. The main problem here is you need to know, like, even if you read etcd code and you find what memory, you need to know which line it is. And because there is again, antithesis needs to recompile your file, it's good to read the file before when you're modifying it. So I try to again, now what is happening? Why this command didn't run?
You have to print the bash on line 9.
Oh, and I forget. Yeah. So yeah, I can read the file, and then you can find that line. This needs to be found here. Yeah. So, but this is this, and you cannot filter. So I need to copy like this. And now, yeah. So this is before a step, which, if you don't like, this is code is annotated by the antithesis, which makes it even harder to read, but what I'm trying to get is this variable. So confirmed index is the index is the raft index that is read from other members of Etsy of what? Other etcd members, or basically the leader that confirms it with the rest of the cluster to know what is the latest state of the cluster. So we can run this to get the results, but I don't know why now it doesn't run. So I run
If you
this
clicked on
bug.
display 2 below line 25, there's like a button to the left. There's like two kind of squares. Okay, I think that's
But
the background
but
process.
yeah, it's a background process, but it's already been run. And
Yeah, that's because you had the branched out wait. Yeah, on line 29
oh, so
there.
this is the okay. Sorry. So this is the result. If I run, this is the result of debugger. It's so hard to. So this is the result of debugger. So from that you can read the confirmed index and the revision. And I think the problem that I'm hitting. Okay, so it's the problem I'm hitting that if you like, we know if I on etcd1 at the same time, if I run the etcdctl, it gives me revision 1. But if I connect a debugger at the same time to same etcd, it gives me different results. It gives me like different revisions. And this is because different timelines. And this is something that I noticed. Running the debugger changes the output of the behavior of the program. So for such a close timing things, I can just comment that this is no longer useful. For such low timing things, I can. Okay, so I move it a little bit closer, and now I'm catching the resource version revision 1. Yeah. And interestingly, I'm also catching case. So best way to run it is this way. So interestingly, or was I wrong? No. So I can observe this variable like over time, how it was increased. So this is like reading from memory how revision changes the thing, what is executed. But based on my experience, if you do that, nothing to download, or is it still executing?
I think it's still running.
Yeah.
Yeah, so probably just give it a couple of seconds to download it.
The main problem I hit is that for such delicate timings of operation, or like linearization, which is a global property, it's impossible to connect a debugger. Oh yeah, nice. It's impossible to connect debugger and not impact the execution. So you can see here that by connecting a debugger 1 second earlier, the issue disappeared. Because I changed the timing of execution of the etcd, and it made this different decisions, and it landed in different state. So the problem is I cannot look up the memory snapshot of etcd during execution. I can connect a debugger, and executing a debugger changes the output of the program. So I can perfectly read the memory, but I cannot perfectly observe. I cannot do that without disrupting disrupting the execution. So this is where I got stuck. That's first I needed, I was trying to guess what was the correct number to rewind back time. So I started from let's say 10 seconds, got back until I found the a state that debugger said that you hit revision 1. And then when I did that, the problems from the linearization disappears. And this is where I got to.
Could we attach this bash delve process like onto the test and try to refine the linearization failure?
I don't understand.
Like whatever we're doing to read the memory of like etcd1, could we attach that same delve process like for the nightly tests? Like if it's just a run in background command, I mean, I think I could probably do this on my side, but like,
But I can do that in printf statements. This is
right.
like printf statements debugging. Like I can add print statements and have my own fork of etcd that has more debugging information. Or we could basically add all the debugging information again and just run it. But we lose all the. Where's the benefit of the universal debugger then? Like it's just print statements. Yeah. So that's where I got. So I think this is pretty useful if we are talking about maybe debugging the watch issues, which are usually deterministic on execution because they are within a single program. But for debugging linearization, which is based on grafts, I wasn't able to debug any linearization, or I wasn't able to proceed from what I shown, and don't know what is the. I mean, I could go back to adding print statements and get and debug this. If someone is interested, we could try to do that. But yeah, but we don't have
Yeah.
currently pending watch issue. Would be other exercise to prepare debugging old previous watch issue to show that you could connect the debugger, and then connected in debugger shouldn't change what, assuming it doesn't disrupt channels too much, which can also cause races, and the bug is not a race that is can be disrupted by debugger by connecting the delve, but it's possible that you could no longer see the issue. We could try to debug, try to teach people on that, but at this moment I don't like the problem is we still, without changing the code, we cannot debug things, and and the only people that can change the code in a way to let's say I mean, we could either merge the debug logs and try to cover all the cases on debug code on the master branch, but I don't think that's a great idea for everything. So the only way to debug this using print state, like debug logs, would be to do it on separate branch, which is only like also limited mostly to me to set up and run the thing. So currently I don't know how to like scale or delegate debugging of this linearization issue.
What about if we set up the
Could
image
you, Mark, could you
differently?
send me that delve attached thing? Because I think I want to try some things on my end. Yeah.
I will paste it in the notes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, there was a there isn't. Oh, this feature is not public. That's sad. Okay, I pasted it.
Thank you.
Yeah, just There was a question, I think, Joshua, or no,
Oh,
it
It
was
was
yeah,
only.
me.
yeah, it's me. So maybe I'm not sure if this is a good way to do it either, but right now we just included the just the binary in the image. If we include the source code into the image and
Mhm.
maybe use the debugger to rebuild everything, do you think that's okay?
You could do that, but again, it's like if you change the source code and in the debugger and rebuild everything, then you have to run that binary again. But then like you have to refine the linearization failure, and that's like the thing that we changed by rebuilding the binary is probably a lot more large of an effect than attaching a delve. So I highly doubt that you would refine the linearization failure again if you rebuilt the binary.
I mean, we have the source code in the container. Like I think when doing uh, ls, I have like or even here I read the source code.
Right.
Uh, I don't know if there is a much benefit from running. I or when working on it, it took me a couple of iterations to install the debugger, disable optimization of flags, and all those things, so that debugger is more useful. There is still difference between like how if you run the binary under debugger versus running the attaching the debugger, and here I'm just attaching the debugger to a binary. But from it's easier to debug because it gives you code that you would it shows you the code that you're editing or where you are. But if you know the code base, cut, like as here I cut the code base, you achieve the same thing. You need to just pick a line in the source code and print what variables you want to trace or what variables you want to observe. So like in the end, like adding it will not change our ability to debug, and it's still a solution based on idea of changing the code. Like the idea of the debugger is, can we do it without adding print statements? Can we
Mm-hmm.
use universal debugger without changing the code and adding print statements? And I don't know if there is a solution. I don't know if we should like, and it's also like somewhat parallel. It not necessarily an issue for etcd projects, because we can still like just modify the code and have someone just slowly iterate by modifying the code and submitting a new job to antithesis to reproduce it again. It just will take you between 12 and 24 hours because it's averages every second to averages on reproducing every second run. That takes 12 hours, but that's a pretty slow iteration, like even compared to robustness tests.
Are there any other like environment variables that you'd be interested in observing other than like the RH dot revision that you had in the background process?
I mean,
Like
like
if you observe the revision like decrease from that node, like what do you think your next step would be?
so I mean that's a following code. The code I just read the
Right.
codes.
Okay.
Like I found the revision. Oh, it went. It's like one thing I could not necessarily do, or I think maybe I did, but it's not clear. Is you need to compare like when I have visualization. Uh,
You need to confirm that
One
the
thing is
linearization is there.
I want to know which point of state like this is, because I'm still like guessing. I need to correlate three etcd instances.
Yeah.
So when I have history of one revision, like revision is increasing, that's good, but it's not
Okay.
decreasing. So here I would need to know where I am in this visualization. So that can be done by either like asking free etcd at the same time and then getting different responses,
Yeah.
and based on that I could you go into, oh, it's not about revision, it's about read index, and this is like the confirmed index variable. So I went from observing the revision to observing confirmed index, and that
Yep.
gives us view of what etcd tries to wait, or this is information that's the, if you're doing a list request, please wait until this index until to be applied before you return. So this is an important variable, but this is still not enough to debug. It's about,
Okay.
is this variable correct or not? And
Yep.
if this variable is still increasing, I need to correlate with all others at CD at the same time, whether what was their read index at different point of time and why this member had a, if this member had a smaller index, then I can dive into how this index was occurred. So I need to dive into the raft implementation and basically repeat the process of, oh, I have some value. It should be non-decreasing value be on the whole cluster, because read index should never decrease on the whole cluster. But I need to correlate it from all members at the same time and from different memories. So yeah, I would need to go further, deeper into the code, the raft code, because in the end, my closest guess that this is at this moment, I like that, at least from antithesis point of view, like it seemed like read index was was lower on one member, but I don't know if this is like true, because yeah, it's hard to get the timelines.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna try to see if I can get the timeline working correctly. Um, it's like sometimes it's a little bit of an art trying to figure out exactly when to attach a process so that like you when you advance time again you will hit the bug. So I'm gonna put that as an action item on my side. So I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah.
Cool. So okay.
Oh yeah. So what I did before was run all the debuggers on all the members, and then print all the events up to some point, and then read the confirmed index and scale the UI, and then confirm index. But this is why this is only on. Oh yeah, I remember. Because you cannot identify which value, which etcd comes from. How do you do it on?
Oh, you could do when it goes branch colon branch container colon etcd. You can add source name. So it goes the run in background. Yeah, you can right there add another comma and source underscore name. I think it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think source underscore name. Yeah, and then there would be a string saying like etcd0.
okay. So I previously hacked it in Bash. So I added a set that added to each line generated by this. It added a thing. So this is, I think this is pretty simple feature that should be by default. But but if someone knows set, they can work around it. Yeah.
Right.
So I created, like before, I was creating a timeline of all the members. And again, oh, okay, now it works. So yeah, okay. So something like this, but now the UI is stretched. Oh yeah, so this is yeah. So I'm saying like this looks suspicious. Yeah. So you had index going up on two members, and the third member was not, there was no read until it reported read index 17. And my guess, this is an issue with retries and delays on the process, one of the process, that it returned, raft returned or retries in the HTTP raft HTTP raft implementation to read index and retries is bad, but it's hard to prove based on just like this value. Like I would want to know what happened, how we ended up with here value 17 if all other cases the value increased.
Okay.
But in this point, the issue no longer is reproducing. So I don't know, like this is already like the connecting to 3 members, there is no issue. So technically, so this, even though here the confirmed index was lower, it no longer reads to the global issue. So now I need to, like, I don't know, guess, should I do 54 and repeat like that? And that's the game of
Yeah, I think instead of like
clicking.
doing it on the second, I'm gonna try to figure out. I'm trying to correlate the requests that like failed and like go like to like the nanosecond to attach a process rather than the second, just so I'm like it's the bug will already happen, but we're like right there and we start tracking the memory.
Yeah, so that's, I if you when you told me that, I think I could figure it out. It's just I don't. It seems like a already pretty hard issue.
Yeah,
Okay, so
so
now we have back to linearization issue, and now we can observe the read indices. Now the read index here is the lower, but this is different etcd instance. And now they look okay, and we are back to the issue. So we moved attaching the read in like the debugger to the read index immediately makes the issue disappear, and there is no sign of or it's hard. I mean, I also haven't confirmed because it's not natural, because we haven't like verified if my assumption that read confirmed index is increasing, because here it has decreased. Is it bad or good? I don't know. Like it's a little bit different values than we've seen before. So yeah, like this level of exploration, like doing manual exploration of one history line at the time is very slow and very, very hard to do. So yeah, I at this time, this is, or yeah, I got stuck here. I don't know if like you could technically write the program, but you're basically will need to write a like space or search space exploration of all the edge cases. I don't know if you have anything like done anything like this before, but yeah, for me it's a little bit too time intensive to invest to invest the time at this moment.
cool. Yeah, I'm gonna ask around, and I know there's one engineer who's done a pretty time sensitive thing and managed to figure out a way around it. But I'll get back to you, Mark. So I'll
Mm-hmm.
ping you on Slack about
Yeah.
what he and I
Mm-hmm.
come to.
Yeah. Only thing, like my main concern is it's very hard to correlate like with the linearization, because in the end the
Yeah.
answer, if it's correct or not, depends on the timings of the results. So even attaching the debugger and saying is this number increasing or decreasing doesn't answer us if it's correct or not, because
Yeah.
in the end it's that the linearization is a property that you need to like you would need to have a context live, or debugger lives in the context of one memory on one point of time. But when
Hmm.
you think about linearization, is context of whole request, and not only one request of whole context is one request being processed by etcd or any
Yeah.
like distributed system, but also in context of the whole cluster. So how timings of this request correlate to the other. So there is a difference between global and local properties, and like I can define global properties and reproduce the bugs, but I cannot use debugger to to easily search for breakages that can relate a local property that I can define to a global property.
Okay.
So that's the jump that I don't know if it's like feasible to. You need someone smart to figure out. Currently, I couldn't do that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll get back to you. Yeah, it can be tricky, but I think if we can get some sort of like some sort of process for figuring out the time, like maybe like side loading delve or something, so that it doesn't interfere with reproduction. Like maybe if there's something we can do there, it'll make it substantially easier to not like mess up the timeline.
My wish would be just like memory snapshots that can be read by Delph protocol. I don't know how to do
Right.
that. But like,
Okay.
can you give me like if it's a if it's a running under hypervisor, it means it's a
Yep.
VM. If it's a VM, you can read the memories like state, like you can snapshot the memory and dump it into like a file. If I had a property of give me dump of this memory and have a way to process it so it's readable by the Delph, that would be a
Yep.
better flow than attaching the Delph.
Got
And
it.
the idea of attaching the Delph is just in the documentation of the antithesis, and currently
Yep.
that's the main thing.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
being able to debug without needing to uh, being able to debug without disrupting the execution would be a great one action item.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about that. Um, we do have some ideas for it. I know that it's been thought about, and I think there are ideas to get around a lot of the debugging tools that would change determinism. So yeah, I wouldn't know off the top of my head, but I will get back to you on that. So
Okay, so I wrote that I think that's problems. If someone sees like other problems or ideas or I forgot something, then let me know.
okay.
Um,
Hey, Marek.
yep.
So you mentioned about the uh, challenge, how to correlate the time in etcd and in the multiverse debugger. Is there something
Mhm.
that we can do on our side to try to do that?
That's a good. I forgot correlate time of like v time of antithesis with etcd robustness.
Yeah, so
Mm,
the clock that you're reading from to mark the start times of the requests, that's just that's the that's basically like we talked about that on November 5th, but that's like you're using Golang's monotonic clock to get timestamps.
mhm.
Is that correct?
Uh, yeah, I think so. So
Okay, I think there might be a way to correlate it then.
I mean, we could correlate it. For me, the problem of correlating is one, how we pipe this information, like two ways. How we pipe information about when the linearization started, what is the base time of linearization? We can just print it, and we can find it in the.
Yeah.
We could print it and find it in the antithesis, but it's hard to say how this helps us with the um, like how we can like use it to in antithesis like logs, like because
Yep.
you would want to shift all the time, like move all the time, like or shift it, and you cannot
Yeah.
impact the execution. So and you cannot like change all other lines to add the time. So that would be something so antithesis that we would need to do. And the
Yeah.
other way, you would want to take that, or you could try to take v time from how to get v time from antithesis and use it uh, in visualization of robustness tests. So that could be simpler, but it assumes that it would require us to
Yeah, I don't know how you guys would do
antithesis to
that.
provide an API.
Right. Okay. Yeah, so that's another thing I'll take a look at.
So yeah, if I had a method, give me that we could even inject the code. So when we run in robustness test in antithesis, to have a like patch the code so that when we read the time, we use v time instead of like
Yep.
base time.
Mm-hmm.
That would solve my time, and then we could see on the linear. That would be even better because it's simpler to think in v time, and I don't want antithesis to change UI. I don't know how we would adjust the UI, but if we had v time in the pure copine visualization on the graphs, then that would already make it easier. So just have a method to read the v time.
Okay. How can so let's say there was like a way that we could let's say we made a function so we could correlate the Golang time to v time. Let's say we could do that.
Yep.
How do you think we would I guess how would we put that into the robustness tests?
I can just either replace time now or like we could have a custom time now. I mean, if you give me a method, I will figure it out. I will just push that this needs to be monotonic.
Okay.
Like there are some requirements that we need to do. It needs to have the same properties as time. It's
Yeah.
just we can have like this is what Kubernetes does in testing, and I think now it's easier to done in Golang. You can have
Okay.
a fake time or clock implementation or custom clock implementation if we define the interface and just switch in normal robustness tests use normal time, but when we switch to antithesis, the interface implementation can change to read the function, to use the function that you provide.
That makes sense. Okay, because I think there might be a way we can inject like some sort of like bash script or something in each run in the same directory in the client container. So like every time you run a test, we'll inject this thing that'll correlate the Golang v time to actual antithesis v time. Because it might change across different runs. So that's why we
Mhm.
probably have to inject it. And then once it's there, when you get to the validation, you could probably just transform all of those Golang timestamps to
Yeah.
the v time using that function or something.
If I had a mapping and assumption that they proceed with some same resolution or whatever, how to
Right.
calculate the time difference, how it proceed when the time proceeds, then yeah,
Yeah, so we would just need to give you the mapping as a function. I think maybe
Yeah.
we could figure it out from there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good actually.
I mean, at some point or multiple times, I will be. I need to get time now or time since some base time. I
Right.
mean, this is how, and whether this is implemented by Unix time, like the Golang time, or with our custom implementation, I don't care.
Okay.
I think the only thing that will hit is that I need an int 64 and you are running in, and vtime is counted in a float. So,
Got it.
or I don't know if it's a float or constant or just a decimal, but it looks like a decimal because the number is like in second. It counts in seconds, and I need to int so I can like it. It will be awkward to still to recalculate, but it will be better.
Okay. Cool. So that is another thing I will get back to you on.
Okay. Any other questions from people? We are running out of time, so I don't think we'll do anything more than just like then finish on this. Just making sure that we had like there is nothing unclear or that we missed.
Thank you, Mark.
So,
I do have to jump, but I
okay.
appreciate your time as always. Bye.
So, yeah, bye. So hope that this was a useful show of what antithesis can do or what things it cannot do. If anyone wants to try it yourself, I'm happy to accommodate using it. It's just like you can just infer from this. It's not an easy tool to incorporate and to learn, and so maybe it's also like opportunity for other people to show how bad I am. But if you have any ideas, I'm happy to set it up for you, or so you could try to do what we did and maybe better.
Yeah. So, quick question about what you just did. So you turn on the debugger, and then the debugger allows you to rewind time, and then once you rewind the time, you can execute some command to get the value.
Yeah, so I have access to a like thing called moment, and I can move the time forward and backward, and using the moment, like the structure, I can call, hey, can you like run a command, inject commands.
I see. And that
Like
moment is the JavaScript.
you need to write in JavaScript. Don't. Yeah, I'm sorry.
But
Yes.
Marek, I have a question. For
Here,
the
just quickly, here is the code. Like if you want, you can just take the debugger session and copy this, and maybe it will work. Sometimes also antithesis doesn't work. Don't ask Marcus. Like sometimes it will say, oh, vtime it cannot be negative, or sometimes it will say the session was terminated. Like yeah, in that situation, ask Marcus for help. I that was my solution. Yeah, go on.
Marek, I have a question. So earlier when you tried to do a etcd put, right? You rewind time, then do a etcd put. Will antithesis do the same remaining operations?
I mean, it's not a question of antithesing doing same remaining operations. It's a question of etcd doing the same remaining operations.
Oh,
Because I mean, and I think I'm not 100% sure, but every like even connecting a debugger totally changed the. I think I would need to validate. I think from what I've observed, totally changed the request and sometimes added a lot of more requests or something else. So I think like antithesis will still try to inject the same errors at the same time, but the problem is that by adding your own what do you call it? By adding your own like additional operations, you're delaying execution of time. So you're delaying the exit timeline. So it's basically antithesis will do the same things at the same time, but you moved etcd timeline.
I
Like
see. I
as an
see.
example, because it's etcd is executed on single thread, and I think that the entropy is based on the time is strictly controlled, but the entropy or like of operating system is based on the time. So by shifting the timeline, you end up in different states. So you branched off. Like I don't think there is. Yeah, you always branch off.
I see. So in the end, is it just shifted, or does etcd like produce the different requests if I
So
do a
if you, I mean, if you shift, like if you think about the, it's not about etcd, it's about robustness tests, and robustness tests do random requests.
Hmm?
And if you shift the timeline of robustness tests, the I think the seed, or I don't know,
All right.
it might, I think it impacts what request it will plan, or I'm not sure if it changes the request it will plan. Maybe the locks will be opened and closed in different order, or atomics will be edited in different things. So different requests, like because you depend on like global things and there are some races, it will might change who wins the race at some point. It's over
I
like
see.
better to like, my assumption is I can guess. Those are all guesses based on the fact that I've seen the timeline change and what logically how is my understanding of the thing. The best thing would be figure it out yourself. If you want to try it, like I can, like as I mentioned, here is the link to the debug session. You can just open it
Okay.
if you have access, and and here is
Do I?
why I said it doesn't work, and I don't know how to fix it. I hit it, like I restarted the session or I refreshed the page until it worked, or something like this, or I like commented reduce code until it worked.
Uh,
But it should, like after this issue with the time disappears, everything should work. So I don't know, like you can copy the code that's
okay. I'll try it out. I finally
so
have the time to check it out after a long time of disappearing. But yeah, I think I'll take the time to.
oh yeah, and this is the problem. It's somehow I cannot connect to the session, and I don't know, like best to ask Marcus why it sometimes like happened. The previous session that I showed during like the meeting was just I opened, I had the same issue, and I waited some time and refreshed it in other browser in other tab, and it started working. So I don't know what's here. I just know that this means that it doesn't work, and you need to do something for it to work. But that's on antithesis side. Maybe they have a lock that they don't tell us that you cannot have two sessions opened, and I don't know. I don't know what is happening here, because my understanding is that they are spinning a dedicated VM. Like having a debug sessions gives you a dedicated VM on antithesis side that is using like just running as a VM. But I don't know how this VM can run multiple simulations at the same time. How you can have a browser, multiple browsers with the same session talking to the same VM. So I don't know how that happens.
I see. That makes sense. Oh yeah, so I was thinking about like for the randomness, right? Or like if we do some put, it will change the seed, then it will produce like different requests.
Yeah.
Would it be beneficial if like when we just for the debugging, we can like somehow export the order of requests that is made. Then like if we do some kind of like a put injection at somewhere in between, it will continue from that point, like a suffix of the exported requests.
I'm not sure. I mean, we already collect all the requests. We have the history. That's how robustness tests make the visualizations is how created.
Yeah. So yeah, but instead of
I would not. That's a question more to Marcus if you can stabilize the thing. I think that like my the suggestions here were first ask like antithesis if we can just have a way to read memory variables without changing determinism.
Yeah, I guess
I don't
that's the
know.
best way. I think that's the most, yeah.
Like my experience with them is that they made a like during KubeCon or like between the conference or days, they made a rollout that started changing how they proceed time, and this broke robustness tests. So like I would not invest into building something based on the current behavior or antithesis of how it proceeds the time, or how the time progresses, because I think they made it just basically increase by one, I don't know, whatever milliseconds for one CPU cycle or whatever. Like they did something naive solution, because like in real, or I don't want, like they simulate the time, like there is no real time. Like the V time is virtual time on the antithesis platform, and it's not real time. So it's because it's simulation, it goes through, and they have full control over it. But it also means that they can make things that don't work or don't make sense for the process. And we hit issues that they broke. The linearization depends on being able to prove that timing of the things is correct, and they broke the time, so we couldn't use the time or our linearization said the things, the etcd is not linearizable because the time doesn't make sense in the end, because they broke the time, how time behaves. So it's not, I would also not go into like trying to build something on their or current behavior of the time in the antithesis platform, because it might change in the future. Best to collaborate with them and ask them directly. I think
Oh,
if your idea made, like, I would present your idea to Marcus, but I assume because he didn't mention it or something like this, I assume it would not work. But always good to ask.
okay, got it. I see. I'll try to play around with the antithesis. It looks cool. I mean, like the whole thing, but yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
like I run it very simple way. You can do whatever, like it's a bash. If you know bash, you
Huh?
can do a lot of things. It's just like I think at this point I'm lacking imagination, because for me, I would just want to have print statements. Because you can do whatever,
Oh
like
yeah.
you can run any program during the thing.
Okay.
Any
Print.
program that is
Okay.
available in
Nice.
the
Nice.
container. What? Can you repeat?
Oh yeah. I'm just looking at the notebook or in the antithesis.
The default notebook is very small and very like trivial. So the default is very weird. It's a daemon.
Huh?
That's why I have in the back I have linked what was my playbook.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay.
you can just copy my playbook if it works. But I'm showing that the thing doesn't work for me. Also,
Oh,
like, reach out to the, so for if you have this issue, I will close my session like now. But if you have this issue, reach out to Marcus. Maybe he can answer. Like,
okay. Okay.
I don't know what's your local time, but yeah, like, I'm also not the best person to answer things about antithesis. That's why I just like presented. I mostly presented to Marcus to tell me to solve the problems that I have, because I don't, like, I'm stuck.
Not rewind before start free time.
Yeah, I don't know what is wrong with this. Like, I like, yeah, it says the session broke. I think they usually send an email, and during, like, I think during KubeCon I also got a lot of emails after creating such sessions saying the session broke. So maybe that's, I didn't get any
Cool.
emails now about the session, so I don't know why it's broken.
Oh,
But
you
if you
emailed
need,
them, is it?
yeah,
You
like when
you
I create the session, I provide an email. If you want a separate session, I can set it up for you. Like, just ping me on Slack when it's
oh
convenient for you. Yeah, I
hmm.
can create sessions, and for contributors, I'm happy to do that whenever. It just, we cannot, like, give control to it to I cannot give this control to at this moment to anyone, like our contributors, because it
Oh
requires
yeah.
right access to their repo.
Mm,
Okay, I think gonna finish today.
yeah.
It's pretty also late on my
Okay.
side, so I think we can.
Thank you, Marek.
Thank you.